Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. The last time he was here, we couldn't hear him, but we're very excited to have him back. And this time he promised that he would be clear, and he is clear. Former Minister Solomon Dalung joins us live via Zoom. I did tell you earlier on that we're going to be talking about democracy in Nigeria. Is it failing? Is it on life support? Or is it dead? Well, on the show today, many Nigerians actually believe that democracy is dying under the Tinubu administration. Since 1999, as a matter of fact, we've called ourselves a democracy. But what happens when elections are disrupted, dissents are punished, and institutions meant to hold leaders accountable seem to fold? Is democracy still alive, or are we just living in its shell? To help us unpack all of this, I'm joined by someone who seems to have seen the system, experienced it from the inside, and hasn't been afraid to criticize from the outside. Solomon Dalung is Nigeria's former Minister of Sports, and he joins me today. It's so good to have you join us. Good evening.
Good evening, Nigerians, and thank you for the opportunity once again.
Lovely. Honorable Minister, help us to unpack this. I mean, is there really a democracy in this country as we speak today? Or is there one that's actually being crippled, or is it under threat? Let's start from there.
To do justice to this, we must begin to look at the meaning of democracy itself. Now, the original meaning of democracy is a government of the people, for the people, by the people. But as democracy develops from its original home, Greek, we had later the introduction of representative democracy. Because the initial concept was the whole people gathered in an arena and take decisions on things affecting the society. Those lawmaking, check and balances of the monarchical institutions, the rights of citizens. So, but with the advancement of the society, representational democracy stepped in. And representational democracy is about the division of the entire nation into constituencies or whatever nomenclature that fits it. And then people are elected popularly to represent those people. So instead of the larger chunk now, you have an individual sitting or two on behalf of the people. And then as the society also progresses, there now came the concept of constitutional democracy. Now, constitutional democracy is a representational democracy where there is an organic document that defines the powers that are exercised by people in authority. That constitution also creates institutions, also creates rights and obligations of citizens. And so it is an organic document that secured the freedom of the people and sealed the social contract between the people and their leaders. That constitution usually will define the nature of the tenure. How many years is a tenure? Is it renewable? All will be obtained from that document. Now, Nigeria started constitutional democracy in 1960 with the Order in Council Constitution of 1960, and then the Republican Constitution of 1963, then the military interregnum. But I'm laying this background so that the younger ones can understand where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. Now, the constitutional democracy of 1960 was practiced based on the parliamentary system of government. And that parliamentary system of government was the consensus reached by Nigerians in 1954 at the Lancaster House Constitutional Conference. Because the first Constitutional Conference took place in 1954 in Lancaster House in London after the collapse of the Richardson Constitution of 1946, which introduced regionalism. Mm-hmm. So democracy was agreed upon by Nigerians in 1954, the nature of the democracy, the type of the constitution. And in 1954, Nigerians agreed that, look, we are a very diverse political community. So we are going to be politically segmented into regions. And each of those regions have autonomous powers. So the Constitution introduced a very strong subnational government with a weak center. But with the coming of the advent of the military in 1966, because of their urge for absolute control, they now roll out decrees that annex these regions into one territory where you have a military leader who has absolute powers on everything. So that took us to 1979 when democracy now was reintroduced. The military set up the 50 wise man Constitutional Assembly as Constitution Drafting Committee first. They drafted the 1979 Constitution, and they moved us now from the parliamentary system to a presidential system of government. Mm-hmm. So presidentialism was introduced in 1979, reenacted in the attempted 1989 Constitution, where Abiola was elected and then he was aborted. And the 1999 Constitution took that pattern. So from this historical background, you will understand that the 1999 Constitution in Section 1 states clearly that the Constitution is supreme to all laws.
But is it? Is it really? Let's paint a picture. In today's Nigeria, is the Constitution really supreme? You worked under an administration where many people would say they picked and chose which laws to obey under the Buhari administration. And many would even say it's worse under this administration. So really, is the Constitution supreme?
Well, we're getting to that. Section 1, Section 2 provides that nobody exercises any authority in Nigeria except as provided for by the Constitution. So if you hold any office, that office must be traceable to the powers you are exercising in the Constitution. Now back to this issue which you have raised. The supremacy of the Constitution had remained what we can basically refer to as, under the current democratic experiment, as an academic exercise, because the choose and pick of political authorities and leaders goes to underscore the fact that the Constitution is more or less no more a supreme document, but a whimsical document at the disposal of those in powers. Because a violation of the provision of Constitution by anybody who has taken oath to protect the Constitution is an impeachable offense. That person ought to vacate office immediately, because it's just like challenging your parents who gave birth to you, raising the question of paternity with your parents. So it is not even limited to Buhari or Tinubu's administration, but it has worsened because progressively it has been degenerating from one government to the other. There were cases of blatant disregard for rule of law, which is a fundamental principle of our constitution. Blatant disregard for rule of law under the Buhari administration. People were detained, court orders were issued or granted for their releases. They were never released. Appointments were done in violation of Section 14. Because all this idea of this lopsided appointment is taken care of by the Constitution. The Constitution clearly states that in Section 14, Section 1, 2, 3, looking at the vertical arrangement of the power equations, that is from the federal, subnational, and the local government, it provides that every appointment at every level must take into consideration the demographic configuration of the political entity. So in the states, appointment must take into the different ethnic nationalities that make up the state. So also in the federation, all this have been abused. Governors appoint their friends, family members, and all this. So across the board, let me come back to answer the question. Are we under a democracy? It's a very difficult question for me to answer. If I had no knowledge of what democracy is, theoretically, I would have answered yes, because it would have meant what I'm seeing is a democracy. Unfortunately for me, I saw the 1979 Second Republic, and I participated as a young person. It was more decent, more inclusive, even though the infractions in the Constitution led to the end of that republic. So we are graduating from one government or one regime to the other with an emerging dictatorship. And we are heading towards a full-blown democratic tyrant.
What makes you say that? What are the pointers? What are the warning signs that would make you wholeheartedly say we're heading towards a tyranny or dictatorship? What exactly under this administration is pointing to that?
All the variables of democracy had been compromised. Let's take internal democracy, which is the beginning of democracy itself. Internal democracy is obtained within the political structures. Of course, internal democracy had been killed very long ago. All you have the political parties do is favoritism and nepotism, appointing of close associates, political allies, committee of friends, concubines, boyfriends, and all this. So, for internal democracy, we can imagine it. I don't know how many young people can attest to seeing internal democracy. Maybe those who in 1999 were about 10 years witnessed when political parties organized primaries under Option A4. Option A4 means lining behind your candidate. Mm-hmm. All that people who were 5 years in 1999 and 10 will tell you is that internal democracy means nominating your favorite person as a candidate. So that is gone. That is one symbol of democracy. The second symbol is the rule of law. The rule of law completely is compromised. If you follow judicial decisions, you will realize that we have a compromised judicial decision. Align it, balance it with judgments of previous Supreme Court and what we are having today. Even when consensus has been reached by Supreme Court on issues, the current Supreme Court, as it is constituted in the past 8 or 9 years, had been vacillating from one decision contradicting itself or the other. How do you explain that the same judgment removed senators and House of Reps members for non-compliance with court orders, and that decision went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court endorsed impunity? How do you account for what INEC did during the election? INEC went around and mobilized Nigerians that the election was going to be technologically driven. Nigerians were so confident, young people from all over the world came down home because they wanted to lay a foundation of their own country. Just for everybody to be disappointed that while counting was on, INEC decided, the returning officer, chief returning officer decided to adjourn for the following day. And around 4 a.m., a winner was announced. How do you reconcile that? We are reconvening by 10 o'clock. Nigerians were waiting for 10 o'clock for the continuation of coalition, just to be greeted by 4 a.m. with the announcement of a winner. And then they ditched out technology with a very sweet concept, technological glitch. This technological glitch was endorsed by the Supreme Court. So the law as it is today in Nigeria is that if you want to contest election, go and befriend INEC. Because you can go and waste your money campaigning Jota, Ajelube, and mainland and island. The people will be dancing, supporting you and saying, this is our man. They will vote you. But because you fail to go and campaign in INEC, they are going to announce the winner. And the Supreme Court said, even if INEC changed the rules midway, you can't challenge them. That's the import of the decision of the Supreme Court in the presidential election.
I need to come back to you again to stay. I want to stay on the judiciary and how this, the decisions of the judiciary and the officers of the court is really affecting our democracy. There are those who have asked that, why are the courts now deciding the people who lead us as opposed to the ballots? So I will ask that question when we come back from the break. Solomon Dalung is a former Minister of Sport and he joins us on Hard Facts. Today we're talking about Nigeria's democracy. Is it ailing? Is it dead? Or is it on life support? We'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
What can your bank do for you? Meet Jane, 25 years old. She's been having troubles acquiring a loan from her bank.
This is not okay at all. I've been on this queue forever, and you're saying I should fill another form. What's going on?
What can your bank do for you? Meet Frank, 27 years old, held up in traffic and making fruitless transactions.
Mama, I have saved the airtime, even the electricity charges. I don't know why it's so difficult making this payment.
Introducing Safri, a lifestyle digital bank that's designed just for you. With one click, you can make easy and fast payment transactions, pay bills, and even acquire easy loans. Hurry and download the Safri app on your Play Store. Visit safrisafri.com for more information. Safri, borderless banking.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info, daily winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 #3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays, and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
Anything I want.
Mama, they don't dash me 20,000 naira woof.
My pikin, who they dash 20,000 naira for this kind time?
That they dash everybody will get smart cash account 20,000 naira.
You mean them go dash me 20,000 naira a woof too?
Yes, so mama. That they dash all old and new smart cash users 20,000 naira woof.
Oh yeah, tell your yard people make them dial *939 hash or download Smart Cash app to open their own account. Make themselves enjoy 20k a woof. Every time when you buy airtime or pay bills with Smart Cash, you go chop inside your 20k. Terms and conditions they shall.
I don't see my own a woof. Oh.
Smart Cash, powered by Airtel.
What is the square root of pi by 4?
4.0.
Wow, that's my girl. The Cowbellpedia Mega Minds is here. Don't miss a single moment of the action in the Cowbellpedia Mega Minds 2025 edition.
Over the 14 weeks, viewers also stand a chance to win prizes when they participate from home.
Tune in to Cowbellpedia Mega Minds on Africa Magic or visit our website at cowbellpedia.tv to learn more.
Terms and conditions apply. Cowbell. So good, so smart.
It's the greatest for me. Hunger makes your cooking fun. Happiness, we go fill your belly. Enjoy the taste and aroma daily.
Hunger for great taste and aroma.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development and the care they need with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics to help your child's digestion and development, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Attention, travelers. Pack your bags. ValueJet now flies from Lagos to Owerri and Owerri to Lagos twice a week. Enjoy a great mix of modern convenience, affordable fares, and hassle-free travel on every flight. Whatever your reason for travel, ValueJet gets you there in style and comfort. To book your flights, visit our website at www.flyvaluejet.com or download our mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store.
ValueJet. Wings for everyone.
We see you, Mr. As My Guy don't win. Please say don't ginger. No dollar. With the Jolly Just Call welcome offer, BetKing is giving you 100 naira instant sign-up bonus. That's not all. Within 14 days on the app, you stand a chance to get up to 1 million naira in rewards and enjoy 50 free casino bets on Aviator. Download BetKing app and register today using the promo code FREEBETS to enjoy your 100 naira instant bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
Yellow Lagos. Finally, MTN Champs is here at the center of excellence for Season 3. Be there live as we discover the next generation of Nigerian athletic superstars at the University of Lagos and Yaba Tech Sports Complex. Come with your family and friends for an amazing experience from the 9th to 12th April. Visit mtnchamps.com for more information.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
This is Hot Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
Yes, it's still the big hard facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Maryann Okon. Solomon Dalung, former minister, is still with us. We're talking about Nigeria's democracy and what the future holds today, today, and what's coming in the future. And he painstakingly explained to us or gave us some background as to what or how our democracy metamorphosed to where it is today. But then before we went on that break, you were talking about the role of the judiciary. Nigerians have continuously queried why our courts have to be the ones telling us who is supposed to sit in an office or not. And you have also told us that, the justice system now is worse than it was before. How do you think the judiciary got to that point? In not so many words, how do you think we got to where we are today? Because before, my grandfather used to be a lawyer. He would say that the lady law saw no one, not the rich, not the poor, not the politician. But today, it's got one eye open. How did that happen?
Well, you see, the powers exercised by the judiciary is derived from the Constitution. And the powers do not include determination of who is elected. You see, the judiciary has appropriated to itself certain powers, which has taken us to this very stage where we are. They are to adjudicate whether the election was in compliance with the law or not. If it wasn't, then you cancel the election. I mean, there was no election at all. And then we go back again. But the judiciary started with gradual incursion into the electoral space of sometimes going into the computation of the results, which that is not bad, but would also the impact of corruption on our institution. The judiciary gradually had found itself in a situation where credibility now is a stranger. And so Nigerians kept wondering whether elections should be contested at the ballot or in the courts. And you hear often people telling you, just like when the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud, declared the presidential election of results of 2023, immediately he did the hatchet job. He said, go to court. And there is an East African adage that says, when a thief asks you to go to court, he's sure that the judge is his brother. So when Mahmoud was asking those who lost the election to go to court, they wouldn't have even allowed him to get away with it. That should have been the end of the process. Nigerians would have come out to defend democracy. But the man was pointing at the court, telling you, go to court where my brother is the judge. And they went. Did they get justice? So under democracy, the judiciary does not replace the ballot. The ballot is supreme.
Now, you made mention of the fact that Nigerians should have risen up, and that's where civil liberties and press freedom comes in. Now, whether we like it or not, press freedom has been an issue even under the Buhari administration. Civil liberties, for many, so many would say that civil liberties has been divided in the middle down. There's some who are paid actors, and there are those who are seriously fighting for the average Nigerian. Because how else can you explain when Nigerians genuinely are saying, well, we're out here to campaign against bad governance. And then there's a pro-government group who's also protesting, trying to disrupt the average person's protest. But what role do you think civil liberties or civil society organizations have played in keeping or strengthening the voice of the average Nigerian under democracy? Remember, we started by giving the basic definition, which is that it's government of the people, for the people, by the people. So if the people are the ones who are supposed to be paramount under the system of government, and our voices are gradually, disappearing, do you think that civil liberties and the press have played a pivotal role in keeping that voice loud and heard?
the civil liberties is under siege, and the press has been gagged. Today, media stations that are populist oriented, if you appear, they will have to be watching your lips to tell you, don't put us in trouble. Now, those of us who naturally have toxic mouth, and that there is no way you can tame it. Each time we come to media spaces like this, we are gradually, being tempted to metamorphose into hypocrites. But we always fight against that because our voices must be heard and heard loud. You see, let me take the issue of protest. Under democracy, like you said, the paid and the organic driven protest. Under the law, it is allowed. This is where policing comes in. The Police Act is very, very categorical. In fact, the police are mandated under the Police Act to provide security for anybody who is expressing his or her opinion by protest. Even if it's one person, police should go there with their vehicle and protect it. So how do you manage this? It has to do with policing administration now. If you have those whom, like we saw during the end-bank governance, being paid for 5,000 to protest, it is the responsibility of the police to say, okay, go to the source of where the money is coming from and protest in front of the donor, the man financing the paid protest. So they can be demonstrating in front of the Aso Rock for so many days supporting the president. Then the people who are protesting against will also have their own arena differently protesting. Now, the world will look at what is happening to test the popularity of the government. But because the government has lost out with people, because its economy policy has weaponized hunger, inflation, poverty, and hardship. So, in order to prevent the evolution of the culture of resistance, they paid rock elements, and the police will approve the same venue where they had approved for those who had applied initially for protest. And these paid protests are usually not, they do not usually need to apply because their father is in government. So all they need to do is to report at the nearest police station and tell them no. If they go there with the cap only, the police will immediately use their vehicles to ferry them to where the people are demonstrating, so that when there is a fight, they can blame the organizers.
So, Mr. Dalung, you're accusing the Nigeria police force of aiding and abetting political, or rather, people who are paid actors, paid protesters, against people who are genuinely asking for good governance. This is what you're saying. You're saying the police is complicit.
I am not accusing. I'm just, like I said, a man with a toxic mouth. I'm stating what happened. In the last end-bad governance protest, I coordinated. In Abuja here, we were denied the use of our venue, which is Eagle Square. And we were banished to M2 Abiola's National Stadium. We obeyed the law because we are law-abiding citizens. And we went there. The same policemen who were pretending to be guiding us also allowed protesters to also come and demonstrate in the same venue. It is only before God that the devil and the angels will meet. Because the Bible says when the angels were given report, the devil was sent there. It's only before God. But anywhere, evil can never cohabitate with good. So I'm not accusing the police. I'm only enlightening Nigerians that anytime you are organizing protests, you must have to deal with the police as the first enemy of the protest, because they will allow those who are paid to come and attack you.
Okay.
With us in Jos, where we managed with a lot of experiences and we became successful, when they realized that they could not destabilize, because we enlightened the youth and assured them that the protest, and somebody like me who is 60, what am I looking for again? But I am out of the street for you because I saw part of a better Nigeria. I went to secondary school free. This generation of grandparents who are holding on to power went to school. Some of them who went to school free. So they should hold us accountable. That's my argument. Okay. The youth should hold us accountable. Let us explain why we went to school free, we went to universities free, and then today we cannot even give them good governance.
Okay.
This is just why we are on the streets.
Okay, because of time, I'm going to try to speed up things because I have very little time and I also want Lagosians to be part of the conversation. If you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. This is the Big Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Former Minister Solomon Dalung here. We're talking about Nigeria's democracy, the state of Nigeria's democracy. Let's talk about checks and balances. You saw what happened in the National Assembly lately, the accusations up and down, and of course some of the bills that have been passed, the motions that have been moved. When people say they have representatives on the floor of the National Assembly, do we really have representatives on the floor of the National Assembly? And are we the priority of these? I mean, the executive is one aspect. And we've talked about the judiciary, but the legislature is supposedly representing us and our voices. Is that the case today?
With due respect to other members who have been holding dissenting opinions have been suppressed, with due respect to them. But I think Nigerians would have known when, during the presentation of the 2025 budget, and the National Assembly did not pretend. They stood up in unison and was singing, "On your dollar we shall stand, on your dollar we shall stand, on your dollar, Tinubu, on your dollar." That was how I heard it, though. Somebody could have had something different, but this was what I had in my own ears.
It was mandate, please. It was mandate. It was mandate.
Okay, so you see, our ears hear things differently. But this is the one I had. Now, what were they supposed to do? They were supposed to, if the president was that popular, sing the national anthem. So from that perspective, Nigerians should know that what we have there are legislative assistant of the executive.
Wow.
And not the National Assembly. They will only do the eyes habit. I mean, look at the greatest affront they had on our constitution. The president declares state of emergency in Rivers. Section 305 said the president can declare state of emergency when three conditions are ripe. And he is given the discretion by the president, by the constitution, to ascertain those particular factors. So we cannot challenge it. That's the law. Now, he made a declaration. The law says, place the Gazette, which you publish the declaration before the National Assembly within 48 hours for verification. 48 hours had not even elapsed. The president went ahead to swear in a sole administrator in a cubicle in his office with his chief of staff. Attack number 2 on the Constitution. Now, the National Assembly, the Constitution is very, very clear. Before they will sit to consider the approval of state of emergency, 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly must be in attendance. That's the quorum. We had a gathering of less than 1/3, from what I saw, gathered in both houses. And then instead of determining the endorsement of the state of emergency, would vote, something very, very strange was done. And that is the end. That is the end of democracy in Nigeria. For the National Assembly to use voice vote, the ayes have it, approve state of emergency in Rivers. It means the Senate President can wake up today and he will assemble his friends. They will not be even up to 5 or 10 in the Senate, and he will say, Sabongida people in Langtang South are not Nigerians. Those in favor said aye, and the 5 of them will say aye. I said the ayes have it, and our people will be expelled from Nigeria. That is the danger of using the voice vote to determine critical issues in the legislature.
I wish we had enough time, but I will come back to you now that you've, made mention of certain things. I know that you're from Plateau State, and the recent killings that happened in Plateau is very disheartening. And it's not just Plateau. There's several states who are experiencing these dastardly acts. And now it's even come all the way to the South and the Southwest. So everybody's feeling it. I will ask you a question right after I bring Lagos into the conversation. We have very little time, and I know people have questions. They have comments for you. I want you to think about this while I take calls. Now, Mr. President is touted as a pure Democrat, one who fought for democracy in this country. But from everything that you've told me today, you're painting him in a totally different light as one who's not necessarily a Democrat. I'd let you think about it. In the meantime, Lagos, the phone lines are open, 0201-277-0993. If you are female, call 0201-465-7190. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Post your comments. We'd like to read from you. If you're listening from outside of the country, you can join the conversation on WhatsApp. It's 080-959-75805. 30 seconds is all you have. Please go straight to the point. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Maryann.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
That's Manon. I'm speaking to you from the West.
30 seconds.
I have two questions. Quickly. Number one, the coalition, that is flying up and down. Does your guest see any good thing coming out of it? Number two, the way the elite, accumulate our police to themselves, how many police officers does he have himself, which is the former minister? We need to practice what we preach. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Well, this is a direct question to you, Mr. Dalung. Do you have police orderly? How many do you have? And he's also asking about the coalition. Do you think it would even, hit the ground running at all?
Yeah, I have police. I have a police orderly, but not a police. A service orderly from the service I retired. So I retired from the correctional services. Okay. So I have security, orderly provided, and a security guarding my house, provided by the service. Then the coalition, yes, I'm aware that talks are going on the talks are advanced in terms of a coalition. But I don't think it's not a coalition per se, but a group of political parties coming together to say, let us abandon our interests, our personal interests, and take the country so that we can salvage democracy. All
right. Let's take another call quickly. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Madam.
Good evening.
My name is Robert.
Go ahead, 30 seconds.
My question is that this Plateau killing, what do you think can be done by the federal government to avert the continuous killing in Plateau State? In your own view, do you think the government is not doing enough, or what do you think can be done? Is it an epic war? What is the cause of the killing? Thank you, sir.
He's helped me to ask my question, but then the NSA was quoted to say that your people must rise up. Enough is enough. Rise up to where? What exactly must they do? Because, of course, if you ask me, the number one job of government is to protect lives and property. The last time someone tried to self-defend, he was sentenced to death by hanging. What do you think the NSA was saying there, and how do we deal with that issue of, killings in Plateau?
It's just a blame game, and it's a statement from an irresponsible government that is not willing to protect citizens.
How do you mean?
Yes, there is nothing the people can do. these people that are killing our people are part of the larger criminal gangs that operate in other parts of the country. They have their enclaves all over. In the southwest, they are in the forest. In the northwest, they are there in the forest. Now, we have decided to excuse them by using ethnic identities instead of calling them with their real names as criminals and deal with them. Because once you said, oh, it's farmers, herders, clashes, you are justifying criminality. I kept telling our people, these are people that took over a particular village called Joshua. In the whole of that Joshua is all of them. They have a government of their own there. There's nobody there except them. They kidnap people into the settlement and collect ransom. So they were provoked by a military attack on them. So when they were attacked, they now rally around because they have such enclaves in neighboring local governments. They now mobilize and wreak havoc on over 100 and something communities, killings. After this program, I'm going to send to you a poem written by an SS3 student whose father was killed in her presence. They were on the farm when these attackers were coming. Their parents pushed them into a hole, the children, and it could only accommodate about 2 or 3 of them, while her father and the mother remained. She was watching when they came and slaughtered the brother, killed the father, and went to their home and slaughtered the remaining. So these killings cannot be explained by a visit by the National Security Advisor in a jamboree and telling the people that they have not done enough. What did they expect the people to do? When somebody attempted to repel an assailant, he has the hangman's noose on his neck in Adama. When will they stop charging those who are trying to repel assailant to court and convicting them? How many terrorists have been convicted for killing? Why was the Supreme Court speedily in dispensing justice against an assailant, and you have thousands killed and no justice?
Mr. Dalung, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Unfortunately, I hope I can bring you back because we need to keep talking about this issue of terrorist-related killings across the country. But it's always a pleasure to have you. Solomon Dalung is a former Minister of Sports, and always a pleasure to have him on Hard Facts. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, Lagos, there you have it. It's a wrap. We thank you all for being part of the conversation. Unfortunately, we couldn't take all your messages, but we've got to go. When we come back, Kemi has some information for us. Stay with us.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Are you a young athlete? Do you have dreams of competing on the world stage? Parents, do your children have what it takes to be champions? MTN Champs is back for season 3, and we're calling on young talents to start their journey to greatness with an opportunity to earn international scholarships at the MTN Schools Athletics Championship. Come and make a difference for you and your family at the regionals in Benin, Lagos, and Uyo from March 13th to May 3rd, 2025. Register now at mtnchamps.com.
What is the square root of pi by 4?
4.0.
Wow, that's my girl. The Cowbellpedia Mega Minds is here. Don't miss a single moment of the action in the Cowbellpedia Mega Minds 2025 edition.
Over the 14 weeks, viewers also stand a chance to win prizes when they participate from home.
Tune in to Cowbellpedia Mega Minds on Africa Magic or visit our website at cowbellpedia.tv to learn more.
Terms and conditions apply. Cowbell.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.